What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. So in this video, I want to talk about the comments that Love and Flip Flop star Masika Kalysha, I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. If not, I apologize. But comments that she made in regards to, um, some comments that she has received and some compliments that she has received in regards to like phenotype, and just people asking her about her race and ethnicity and her heritage because of her phenotype, particularly black men. So Masika posted on social media the following: Dear black men, when you see a black woman with curly hair and or lighter skin, quote unquote, what are you mixed with? It's not a compliment. It's actually pretty effing insulting. Pretty effing ignorant. My apologies. It's actually pretty effing ignorant. So it seems like Masika is not appreciative of the compliments, are appreciative of black men thinking that this is a compliment. And I wonder what motivated her to post this, what motivated her to, you know, put this on social media. And when I ask that question, I just want to know, like, where she's coming from with this. Hopefully, she's just coming from a good place and wanting to help perpetuate honest conversations and dialogues pertaining to colorism, helping to rectify or perhaps begin the process of rectifying issues that pertain to colorism within the black community. Hopefully, she's not on some like, oh, I just want a little attention. Let me remind the people that I do look mixed and that, the brothers be checking for me because I be looking mixed. I can't help it. I can't help it that I look mixed. Y'all don't need to be being mean to me because I'm mixed. I look mixed. But what Masika said, it is, it's kind of like low key, kind of like breaking an unwritten rule between black men and lighter skinned women. And really, I feel like Masika, she did say black men and she did not specify skin tone when she was referencing and addressing black men. But I do feel like this may end up being more so directed toward darker skinned black men. Not to say that there's not lighter skinned black men who are who fall into this category of being color struck and obsessed with non-black features on women who may be part black or full black. But I do feel like that's where it's going to end up. This conversation is going to end up, and that's fine. I'm just making a point, and the mention it. But I do wonder, like, I feel like perhaps she should have specified skin tone too, but maybe she just didn't want to specify skin tone as to just make it to all black men in general. What is her experience, right? But I don't want to get bogged down in that too much. So Masika wrote this comment on Twitter, and we all know the saying, right? A hit dog will holler, and you had some black men up in there hollering and hooping and barking because they was the dog in the crowd that got hit with that comment that Masika had to say, right? And the comment is loaded, and I can understand it being offensive. Somebody, the brother's gonna be coming through like, don't come for the brothers like that. All right. We got a right to have preferences. We can like what we like. All right. All right. And you making a big deal out of nothing. Why are you trying to bring up and cause this division among us? Right. we're trying to get through this pandemic here, and you talking about color. You talking about skin tone and hair texture. You the problem, not us. Right? And folks have a right to like what they like. All right? Folks do. And me personally, I just definitely, hey, even if your preferences and all that stuff comes from a problematic place, ultimately, you have a right to like what you like, right? But I think Masika is trying to say, like, basically, she may feel offended because you are saying that she is not fully black. And you may be associating with her with not being fully black because she does not have features that automatically signify her being black. And then we get into that whole discussion about what is black? Who is black? Blackness it can be anything. Oh my God. Blackness comes in so many different shades and colors and varieties. And do. What you mean? What you mean I'm not black? Just because I got light skin and curly hair and light color eyes. What you mean? Yeah. Folks, feeling offended that they're, you know, perhaps maybe feeling like they're being othered from blackness or not being fully accepted as being black, right? But on the flip side, though, Masika, right, you do get some benefits from that too. So this would essentially just be the downside of that, right? So you can't really stop your benefits from it. You either, if you want to or not. And this would be the downside of that. Right. And, Masika's probably going to get a little pushback because she is calling out black men's infatuation with women who are considered to be exotic and just non-black women in general. If it don't apply, let it fly, right? And when you start to do, call out things like this, people, start to take notice and get emotional, right? In this case, it makes black men who engage in this infatuation and who have this infatuation feel uncomfortable and perhaps even guilty, right? And then they start feeling guilty about themselves, like, oh, well, I'm not anti-black. Oh, I don't dislike being black, right? And then you have a lot of emotions coming from that situation. And people across the board do not like having to confront their, negative feelings about themselves and negative aspects about themselves. Right? And I'll be fair. I'll be fair. I'll be fair here. And I can understand if you are a black man, especially a black man of a darker skin tone, who really doesn't get down like this, right? Who really doesn't get down like that, right? Who may even be on like, I wouldn't touch a light-skinned black woman or a mixed woman with a 10-foot pole. Gross. Said no black man ever on record, right? And, it's not necessarily because, they just are that light-skinned women are just so irresistible. It's just because these dudes are just trying to get into any and everything. So they're gonna leave their options open. All right. They're gonna leave their options open. They ain't gonna completely dismiss, the lighter skinned black woman or the mixed woman. Just you know, even if they do have a preference for something else, they ain't gonna completely be dismissing her like that. And likewise, there are some light skinned and mixed black women, or light skinned black women and mixed race women who may have similar feelings towards black men, darker skinned black men. And then on the flip side, there's, some lighter skinned black women and mixed women who will drink, these dark skinned or darker skinned black men's dirty bath water, right? And, vice versa. There's be some dark skinned dudes drinking some light skinned mixed women dirty bath water too. And then there's some black men coming through and arguing that Masika wears weave and makeup to look non-black, but has a problem when she is questioned about her heritage, right? And basically the argument, you always gotta bring in weave and makeup when it's, something involving black women, right? Basically the argument is like, oh, you trying to look mixed, but you don't want folks to think you mixed. Oh, you don't want folks to ask you that you mixed. Oh, but you trying to look mixed though. You trying to wear all that non-black hair and lighten up your skin with all that makeup, right? And contour your nose, right? But you don't want folks to think that you mix and ask you that you mix though. You just want us to be quiet about it though. Get out of here, right? And, I do think there is some truth in that, but I do get tired of having, like, we've come up in like every discussion that involves a black woman. And when it comes to Masika, who does she date? Does she have a history, a dating history that includes a lot of darker skinned black men? Just wondering. It's okay if she does, but I'm just wondering. And in regards to just the question in general about, like, heritage, a person's ethnicity, a person's race, in regards to those questions coming up because of the way that a person looks, what is the motivation behind asking if a person is mixed? Is it like curiosity, concern, flirting, making conversation, trying to learn more about a person for classification purposes, so who's black, who's non-black, who's on your side, who's not on your side, right? Where does that come from? Does it matter? Ultimately, I would say that yes, it does matter, unfortunately, because of the society that we live in. Unfortunately, we are not beyond race. Sad to say. But that's just reality, right? So unfortunately, it does matter. It is a factor, you know. You know. And as far as my personal experience is concerned, because I do have some personal experience about being asked about my race, throughout my life, people have kind of like viewed me in a certain way. Basically, at times, view me as being, perhaps non-black or part non-black, right? And personally, I don't think I really had much of an issue asking or answering those questions, although I feel like sometimes I may be a bit of a disappointment in regards to my answers because I don't really have any, quote unquote, exotic pedigree to name, right? Which again is fine, right? I feel like people may be wanting some sort of like, oh, you're mixed with this, you're mixed with that. Oh, wow, that is awesome. Yay. Right. Um, but should people be shamed for being interested in people who are not, their phenotype, or who do not share the same phenotype as them, in regards to just being interested in them in terms of romantic relationships, being interested in them just as far as their ethnicities are concerned? And I feel like this ends up being directed at darker skinned black people for some reason. I really don't ever see this being directed at lighter skinned black people. I don't ever see people railing and going on and on about these lighter skinned black women, right? And they just can't get enough and they dark chocolate, baby. They can't put down that extra dark chocolate now. But when it comes to the guys, right, then it's like the darker skinned black men, then it's like, oh, you know, why are they interested in that light skin, that light skinned chick? You know, oh, where does that come from? They're color struck. They have self hate issues, right? But is she color struck though? Does she have self hate issues? The lighter skinned women who are engaging in it as well? You know, just some food for thought. And I guess what else can I really say about this? I think I mentioned all I have to say, I guess. Yeah. I just think that when it comes to this situation, I just think that the black men, especially the darker skinned black men, are just, you know, exploring their options. I mean, there is some colorism perhaps in it too. But for one, they are exploring their options, though. They're definitely taking advantage of all the options that they have within the black community, right? And that is their right to do that. But I guess a good question would be like, where does the men that really do engage in this and have the infatuation with, you know, non-black features on um, black women and women who are mixed with black, you know, it's like, where does that infatuation come from? Is it purely an innocent infatuation? Does it come from a place of colorism, a place of self hate or self loathing? Who knows, right? You know, but in my personal experience, I've been asked, you know, my race by a variety of people, both male and female, black people, non black people, what have you, right? And I just bring that up to say that maybe perhaps when it comes to questions about race, depending on the situation, they can just come from a place of just perhaps curiosity. I think that is a big reason why some people do ask about other people's race. Just because they see something looking a certain way and they're just trying to figure out what it is. And also because people like to try and classify people, right? Especially when you find out someone is part black, you do be kind of like, all right, you know, how far does the blackness go? Especially if you find out that someone is like white passing, but they are part black, and some people, maybe not all, but some people kind of be like, okay, how black are you? Are you practicing? Are you a practicing black person? Are you just a non-practicing black person? You know, how far does your connection with blackness go? But on the other hand, perhaps do you think that maybe Masika is being a bit too extra about this? Like, oh, it's not really that big of a deal. Like, just calm down, Masika. Chill, it's not that big of a deal, right? Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments section. And until the next video, adios and goodbye for now.